My baby said, uh-oh, the camera shut off. So I ran over and turned it back on.
We were just talking about, do we notice the difference, or what's the difference with when the camera's on or when it's off?
Yeah. And I said it was scary sometimes.
Yeah. So this show, these clips are sort of by request, right?
Yeah.
You said somebody said you should talk about this, so
Tom.
yeah. So okay, so this clip goes. We got to do a shout out, I guess.
Sure.
A shout out to Tom, because this clip goes out to you, Tom. And this is us talking about what it's like different when the camera's off or when it's on.
What a wonderful question.
Yeah.
Really, really interesting question. I would have really wondered that myself.
Well,
and I've paid a lot of attention to it. I've been conscious of a lot of that because I'm intrigued by it too, you know?
Right. First,
that's what he found interesting about boy's life.
Or boyhood?
Boyhood, yeah.
What part was it?
He was intrigued with the way that the camera affected the actor over the 10-year period or whatever. And I found that most intriguing about that movie too.
Yeah, me too. It's weird to think about.
It's more like I'm more interested in the behind-the-scenes look than what happened on the screen. But so are you, and that's why we show everyone behind the curtain. We got comments on our puppet show that, John Erickson, let's do a shout out to John.
Okay, we didn't do a shout out to Tom
yet. Okay, okay, we'll do both here in a minute. But he said, aren't puppet shows, don't they usually hide the person behind the curtain? And I said, our show shows what happens behind the curtain.
Yeah, totally.
Allows the viewer to look behind the curtain. I should have said glimpse, but it's not a glimpse. The whole thing is showing behind the curtain. The puppet show, you can see through the curtain, you know? So it's not just a glimpse that they're getting. Okay, I'm sorry, hon.
So, I don't know, in our case, it's like, I don't know. Is there a curtain at all?
Well, that's for them to decide. I don't want to tell them because I think that I know the answer to that question. But it's probably, I would say, the answer is both. What would you say? I just told them I didn't want them to know the answer, but the answer is both. Yes and no. And they have to decide what that means. And I don't even feel compelled to explain it, but maybe in 10 minutes I'll start explaining it. But I do want to explain the effect of the camera on our lives. We dealt with that earlier today, but let's do our shout out.
Okay,
John Calvin Erickson II and Tom Thompson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yo.
Tom Thompson and John Calvin Erickson II.
Sorry,
I explained that backwards, honey. I'm sorry.
It worked out.
Well, we had to go in the right order, hon, because you brought up yours first.
We brought it home, baby. It was like a perfect landing.
I agree.
What were we talking about?
Well, I was curious about Amelia Earhart recently. So we got that book, but I never looked at it. I don't even know where it is. Do you?
Yes, it's in a crate in the trunk.
You know what I like about Amelia Earhart?
What, baby?
What everybody likes about Amelia Earhart. Her free spirit. That's all you need to know about Amelia Earhart. You know, the specifics don't really matter. It was that she had a great heart that she followed, you know? Like, wow, what a brave person, you know? Like, men don't do that shit.
That's true.
Well, actually, some men did, but I think, didn't Charles Lindbergh?
Yeah, I guess he did stuff like that. He flew all over the place.
Right. Well, that makes me think of some really beautiful writers like May Sarton and Charles Lindbergh's wife, who must be named Mrs. Lindsberg, but I can't remember her first name, but that's a shame because her writing is so lovely, down to earth, homely, but very, very lovely. She had a real spiritual view of the world around her, and so did May Sarton, though they were very domestic and very, even reclusive, They had a very humble kind of existence in some ways. But they found such joy in it, They'd go and pick a flower, and that flower, they'd write about it. That one flower that they had on their mantle. And that's actually May Sarton, but Mrs. Lindbergh collected shells.
Cool.
And other detritus on the ocean.
Yeah, I can see that.
Did I interrupt and change the subject? I probably
No, I
did,
was actually like at sea. To tell you the truth, I was like so,
at sea. That's why you picked up seashells, huh?
Yeah.
Well, not when you're at sea, but when you're coming.
Well, it's weird.
Off the beach.
I can actually see collecting shells. I don't know.
Yes.
For some reason, when I was a kid, somebody brought this big truckload full of seashells and dumped it in a big pile on our property.
Really?
Yeah, they were all like.
You got a fucking treasure trove.
It was cool.
You got like struck gold, honey. How did that happen?
I don't remember. I'll ask. Maybe my mom would.
Wow, what? That would have been my wildest dream come true as a child.
Yeah, I know, but.
Wow,
right?
Yeah.
Thanks for pointing that out because.
You probably
I
just
kind of took it for granted.
Sure, yeah, you got a fucking treasure trove. You like the pirates came and dropped the hidden treasure in your backyard, honey.
They were cool.
Oh, I bet.
So we always had one or two of those like in our bedrooms and stuff, and you could hold them up to your ear, that sort of thing, So I didn't totally take them for granted. I mean, I thought they were cool. I guess I liked them. I just didn't realize how cool they were, maybe.
Wow.
So that's kind of magical, huh? Wow. I was like that a lot as a kid, I think. Anyway.
Sounds neat. I mean, hold me.
Curses. I'm always losing stuff.
I'm sorry, hon.
So did we finish talking about the difference between when it's like when the camera's off and when the camera's off?
Oh shit, honey, I forgot.
Yeah, maybe that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, that is.
Thought there was
forgot, hon.
Because there was supposed to be maybe that was the point. And then,
are we gonna have cake instead
really
of bread?
Or both. Ooh, I want some cake when it's done, I think.
I know, but do you want bread with your onion soup?
Onion bread.
Okay, me too. Why not?
We're
going to have a fucking feast. We've got enchiladas, we've got cake, we've got onion soup, we've got hummus. Wow, we've got a fucking feast, honey, and we've got to go get more food tomorrow, and nobody's going to believe we ever go hungry. Well, we don't, that's why. But we make damn sure we're not going to, right?
Yeah. Whoa, hey, okay.
Oh, honey, where's that tray? Oh, we need that tray for your cake to be put on before you cook it.
Okay.
I'm going to put this in here for now.
Okay.
In the oven. And, because we don't have to eat the soup at any point till we're ready. So, we just cook the bread about 20 minutes before, when you're ready to cook your cake, we can do it.
What the heck? I'm looking for...
Oh, hun. We were going to talk about the camera being on or off.
Right. Well, the last time we started talking about this, my baby was like, well, yeah, we both agreed. We noticed a difference when the camera turns off. Sometimes more than others. Sometimes I'm more aware of it. Sometimes sometimes it's like, meh. But other times it's like I'm aware of the camera, and when it turns off, I'm especially aware of that. And then my baby said, sometimes it's even kind of a little scary, huh? And I was like, yeah, it is. And then we went on, and we were going on with our clip, and we meander the way we do, and the camera stopped. And I said, uh-oh, baby, the camera's off. My baby's like, oh, get it, honey.
Right. I'm thinking of that in comparison to the curtains, the sheer curtains of the...
the puppet stage?
Well, he might have been seeing you behind the stage, you know? Because that picture shows more you prominently back there with a big smile on your face. But we're also behind the sheer curtain part too, but that may not have been apparent. Either way, there's a sheer curtain that people can see through to see us behind the curtain.
Which is really, really neat.
But there's a veil, you know.
I know,
the veil is...
I keep going on
makes
about
it even
this.
more interesting, though.
It's a postmodern puppet show, so we did it in a postmodern film class, and everybody, like, gave us the long face.
I know.
In case you guys
I feel
haven't
sorry
heard
for him.
but
I'm having a new insight into that.
I know. I'm actually laughing about it now. I'm
It was
only saying this
hilarious,
in case
man.
anybody out there hasn't already heard
Oh my
us
God, it was hilarious.
gripe
honey.
about
Can
this
you
a
believe
little bit.
we didn't have the camera on for all of it, but if we did,
man.
that would have been wild. But nobody could have watched it.
Man, it would have been... Yeah, that's... I would say it's too bad, but maybe it's for the best.
Well, that's the point. Okay, maybe if the camera had been on, I wouldn't have lost my temper and cried, but probably I would have.
Heck, I didn't even know if the camera was off or on after we were done. Did you? I was like,
Well, no, but it happened later.
Right.
At the second
Well,
class.
that's true.
Yeah. And so we didn't have the camera on then.
Honey, have you seen that?
Yeah, right there under the blue thing.
Oh, thank you.
We found out that our honey is imitation honey, and that's just a big spoiler. So from now on, we're not buying more imitation honey. We're going to make our own corn syrup, which is what that is. Out of brown sugar, right, honey?
Right, sugar. God, we're too sweet for our own good.
Yes. I'm sure, I think of people from, school and whatever, watching our clips and going, what the fuck, how did they become so damn cool? Like, we were total nerds. Well, I don't know that you were. I know I was. Were you? I hope you were, because...
no, I'm more like, well, I wasn't a nerd. I was just cast in that light.
I mean, that's awesome. I love it. That totally proves you were a nerd, and that's awesome. I'm so happy. Because how can you trust somebody who's not a nerd?
Half the time.
That's probably not fair.
All the people thought I was not only a nerd, but a gay nerd. So.
A gay nerd?
So,
I don't think they thought I... Well, no, I think they thought I was gay, too. So, anyway, whatever. Who cares? I mean... But I like that.
I say
That's
that
cool.
and then swish my hair.
And stir the cake mix.
That's funny. Why would they think such a thing, honey?
I don't know. Why would they call me masculine? Well, they never did, but I am. I'm wearing this like boyish kind of... Well, they called me a tomboy. That's what they called me. But they called me that clear up to high school.
And you could actually attest to some of that. If it's a tomboy to go outside and climb trees and play like in the physical world, and
I mean, I rode a bike onto the hood of a car. It racked me. I was severely racked from that, honey, and I'm not even a boy. It hurt like hell. They had to cart me back home.
Honey.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah.
Gosh, ooh.
That's what you get for closing your eyes while you're riding down the street on a bicycle and having somebody sit on the, what is it, the wheel, the steering wheel? What is this called? The wheel, steering wheel thing?
The handlebar.
Handlebars, thank you. Somebody was sitting on the handlebars, and they were telling me where to go, you know? And,
oh my God.
yeah,
crazy.
well, there was a breakdown in communication, and I ended up wrecked on the hood of a car.
Oh. Ouch.
Yeah, let's just say that wasn't the most comfortable.
So, I'm
day of
guessing
my
you didn't
life.
do that again.
No, I learned from that experience, and thankfully I lived to do something else stupid another day, you know? You putting some of that in?
I'm putting a touch of this in to see if it'll help make a cupcake.
Sure. Excellent.
Just a little bit.
So, what is it like when the camera's on or off? Well, because when the camera's on, we're performing. That is what I've come to the realization of. We've always been performing, and I guess I've become more and more aware of that performance as time progresses and how we're doing it. It's kind of like writing. You're a writer, but if you're a real writer, a student of writing, meaning, and see, that's rude to say a real writer. I guess what I mean is somebody who has devoted their life to language. Then and maybe that's any writer, I don't know. I can't figure that out. But anyway, there's probably no difference between a real writer and any other writer. We all write. It's just like, what are we writing, or what's our audience, or whatever. But I don't even know if that's true. Hell, I can't talk anymore. But without thinking of the opposite and questioning myself in everything I do. But that's fine, because it's good to question ourselves. But it doesn't get you very far if you're trying to explain something. What was I explaining? Well, it's becoming conscious of the process.
Yeah.
It's what you do as a writer. You start to become
the
conscious.
intention.
Yeah. What is your conscious? Being aware of your intention.
For one thing, yeah. I mean, there's probably people out there who are already really great writers, but just don't even recognize that they are that.
Right.
I
know some really great writers in my family. Alex Hanschild is one of them. That kid, I hope he's writing.
Okay, I gotta show these guys. With me, if the camera's been on for a long time and then it turns off, sometimes I'm aware of it, like right when it happens, but then a minute or so will elapse and I'll be engaged in conversation with my baby and I'll say something and maybe there's something that happened. I'm just making weird confessions. I'll feel like, I'm glad I said that. That was clever. And then I'll realize, oh, wait, the camera's off. And then it makes me worry, like, okay, wait a minute. Does that mean, and I think this would be a consequence of having the cameras on all the time. Am I now constantly in a state of performance?
And
is everybody, though, whether they have cameras on or not? I mean,
well, but that's the question that we'd have to. Well, for me, it's like you. Well, okay, it's either way. Like, it makes me self-aware and self-control. I have self-control. If I think I'm doing something in front of 3 million people, say, I'm going to do it differently than if I'm just me and you. And that's one of the reasons we have the camera on so much, because we don't have self-control, right? We're not good at self-control. Right. We lose it. I'm not saying in every area or something like that, but just generally. Yeah. We have a real problem with being able to control ourselves. The camera forces us to be accountable for our actions.
For me...
that's how I feel.
Sometimes, I like that and that works, but I'm like the person...
Maybe
who
that's
sets
too crass,
the clock 5 minutes ahead, but knows that the clock is set 5 minutes ahead, so it's not so effective.
Well,
my baby's always felt
like,
and I should say these things, maybe it'll help me. I don't know. I think I can see advantages to the way my baby has received all of this. that I know, well, we don't have to show anybody.
Oh, I never think that.
Right. Well, that's probably not a good thing.
Then we don't have an audience because, like, I imagine 3 million people, but I really think it's going to be more like 30 million, 300 million, whatever. But at least 3 million is a number I can comprehend, kind of.
Right.
For me, it's like it works. Maybe I thought once that I'd have $3 million. You know, I can't handle $10 million. I can't handle $100 million, but I can handle 3 million. And that's how I feel about a viewer. I think I can handle more money than that now, though, because I love money. I mean, that sounds terrible, you guys. But I'm saying that I'm learning to have a healthy, positive relationship to money, even though I've been taught my whole life to have a really dark view of money. And that's what keeps people poor. It does. But that's why hating the rich feels good, but it doesn't work, because you'll never get rich then, because you hate what you want to become, you know. It's become a good rich person. There are good rich people, and we're capable of being good rich people, but it takes hard work.
Which is why you should send us money. We're capable of being good rich people.
You guys,
that's why you should send us money.
Absolutely.
Because we're just saying it would be put to good use.
Altruistic uses, this film. And not just that, but like everything we do, we make abundance out of it. They give us some old food at the deal that other people throw to the side, honey.
Have you guys seen this RV?
And we make great food.
What my baby does with, like, just a little stuff that was come by affordably.
Even out of the trash.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
And transformed this RV into just like a magical wonderland. See, that's what I'm saying is like that's what it means to contribute to what we're doing. Is my baby does that everywhere she goes. She makes the world a more beautiful place.
Designers don't have any imagination and know how to make a little. I mean, a lot out of little. Instead, if they don't have any money, it looks like they don't have any money. We don't have any money, and it looks like we're fucking millionaires.
Okay.
How does that happen? It's creativity.
Here's
and attitude.
This is going to be our giant cupcake. We'll see how it works out. I'm hoping, but no matter what, it's going to be really delicious. So I don't care.